Hello, I make games now, and today I'm using the third person template, so then I can make a game in just 1 hour for absolutely no reason whatsoever besides from fun. And I'm going to be calling my game 1 hour game because it's made in 1 hour. I'm loading the starter content here, so then I can use a sphere as the third person character, and I also inputted some music beforehand for when you're playing the game. So the idea of the game is that you control a 3D ball that rolls around and jumps places, but it won't actually be rolling. It'll just look like it does because it will have a material on it, and it's just emitting light that you won't be able to tell if it's rolling because there's not really any shadows on the object. So I made this material which I'm going to place on the character and the objects around the character, so it's kind of like just emitting light, kind of like a lightsaber. So I just get like a multiplier and then a scalar parameter with a default value of 50, and you can change that in the instance, that value. And I also have color constant free, which I'll change into a parameter, and I'll have it default white, and then I'll change the color. Then I'll make multiple instances where the colors are just different, pink, yellow, red, blue, green, all those, and that's how I made the materials. So I then started working on the sky, made it look more like a sunset because I thought it looked cool, and I made the cloud speed 5. Alright, so I then started working on the post-processing, which it just wasn't working because a reason. I'll get into this later, but this is pretty much my fault. So I got the vignette on, but for some reason the lens flare wasn't working. Get into that later. So I made an input to escape the game. I didn't think I had enough time to make a pause menu, so when you press escape, it exits out the game. That's how you exit the game. In Unreal Engine 4, this is the default, so I tested it with an S key and it worked. So I then set it up some heads-up display. I put some text in there that said score, and I also put some other text in there which was going to be binded to an integer variable, which was going to be your score. So I then started creating my level out of geometry, which I never ended up making into static mesh. Anyway, I started making my level with geometry, and I added the materials I made earlier. So I then started making the volume, which would give you a score of 5 every time you jump to one of the platforms. So with 8 minutes ago, I then started getting to work, starting to go a lot faster. I then duplicated the score volume thing and pretty much just made a volume that kills you when you enter it. So I then moved that down below the platforms, and if you fall down, you die, you restart. Well, not too long ago, I then started working on the main menu, which kind of has to be done, kind of has to work. So I try not to care about the visuals, I try and just get it working. So there's a bit of a problem with the final packaging. So when we press play, as you can see, when I was talking about the post-processing, it wasn't, the scalability of the engine was on like medium, and pretty much it went like I couldn't see the lens flares, it wasn't there. So I now have to go back in and fix it. So here's the final product. Practically the game was made in an hour and 1 minute, so I had to fix that post-processing. I wasn't gonna play the game with that. So the game, it works, it's a pretty chill game, got some chill music, it's in the description. But yeah, the score seems to work. And the ball bounces and rolls, doesn't roll, it moves, but you can't really see if it's like rolling or not, because the material emits this light. Okay, sorry about the frame rate that's coming up. It's going to be a really bad frame rate, but there is a problem. There's at a certain point where if you jump into the platform, you don't get a score of 5. This is because I forgot to duplicate the scoring volume things I made, the scoring volumes, and there's not there, so you're not getting a score. But sorry about this frame rate. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope to do more of it. I hope to do more challenges in the future. And see you guys in the next video.